Now on to our ongoing series on mentality. The mental health of journalists is an often overlooked phenomenon. Stress is very much considered part and parcel of the profession. Actually, many take it as a default state of the newsroom culture. Nocturnal schedules, tight deadlines, and potentially dangerous reporting environments are typical ingredients of a journalism career. The normalization of such working conditions can lead to mental health problems for media practitioners. Our health and science reporter Beldin Waliaula highlights how journalists are affected by mental health.
My name is Dominic Wabala.
Dominic Wabala is a veteran crime journalist in Kenya with 24 years of experience in this field. Crime is one of the feared sections in the media profession. It not only risks one's physical being, but also mental health in the discharge of their duties.
I mean, you basically see the worst of humanity on a daily basis.
This work comes at a cost. I asked him what's the worst event he has ever covered.
There was a report that a child abductor has been found. So we had to rush to Kariobangi. When we got there, we found a Citizen TV crew had already arrived. When we got there, they had tried to rescue the old man, but then they couldn't. So the old man insisted that he was the grandfather to the kid. But the crowd, the incensed mob, did not listen to him. So what they did is that they frog-marched him to a chief's camp in Kariobangi. And they actually proved, the kid actually said this is the grandfather and all that. But the mob, as incensed it has already become, didn't listen to them. And by that time, we had been cornered into a U-shaped kiosk. So all of us were here and the mob was in front of us. And these guys were actually determined to stone all of us to death.
Time and again, we have seen journalists reporting on violence, terrorism, and other challenging subjects.
I don't know what is happening, but what they're trying to say is that they are trying to attack members of a particular media house, which we are yet to confirm.
Little do they realize how this affects them in person. They just want to report and move on. But it is not as simple as it may sound.
Mungiki were going for an oathing ceremony somewhere in Nyandarua or that area. But they had to pass through Kariobangi, Madare, which was dominated by Taliban by then. So in the process of doing that, I think the Taliban killed 2 Mungikis. When that happened, the Mungiki came to revenge. Even the cops who were at the scene were scared. And I don't think they were prepared for what they saw, because there were more than 10 bodies that had been chopped off, heads chopped. And while we were waiting to get a brief from the OCPD, we stood next to a kiosk. And that kiosk I was standing next had milk crates. When I turned to look at the milk crates, there was somebody's head in that crate.
Stress, anxiety, depression, sleep and eating disorders or burnout are just some of the mental health problems that many journalists experience. So, how do they cope?
The only thing I know is that it just makes you numb. You don't see anything as scary or anything like that. Yeah. In all the newsrooms I've worked in, I've never seen briefing. I've never seen anybody get concerned about your mental health or anything like that.
Most of them become hardened or detached. They abuse alcohol and drugs, or opt to walk out of the profession altogether. There are other challenges too. Apart from personal safety, there is the constant challenge of digital safety that our media persons face. From job insecurity to the economic crisis of the media, a relentless breaking news cycle, to journalists' hyperconnectivity, media workers are highly exposed to mental health problems.
If you go to an environment and you find, let's say, there's a lot of gossip and bullying, bad communication between the leadership and the employees, and motivation, a lot of negative vibe, like, you feel like your input is not appreciated. You feel like, they're not seeing your worth. You're constantly walking on eggshells because you have no clue whether what you will do will be seen in the affirmative or not. And you feel stagnated, like there's no growth. And I can imagine for every organization that you join, you want to grow. You don't just go there to stagnate and, day in, day out from 8 to 5, you're just on your desk. No, you want growth. So if you go to a place and you feel like you're not growing, then there is a problem.
According to psychologist Jacqueline Gathu, a toxic and high-pressured work environment affects people's lives negatively.
So if you go to a work environment where you're not seen, you're not heard, your efforts are not being validated, your efforts are not being appreciated, of course your morale goes down. You're a human being. Of course, I'm not talking about having everyone speaking about you, saying, oh, see how good she is, see how good he is. But at least, can they notice what you're doing? Can they notice the value that you're adding to that organization?
It's important to admit that mental issues are not new in the media industry. Journalists are struggling with the perfect storm of factors, so to speak, that challenge their mental health. Built in Waliaula Kitchen News.